Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about Doom Eternal, and no, I don't mean Brexit. That's the only joke in today's video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, before we actually get to Doom Eternal, if you remember, late last year, I made a video about CUFED and the various non-controversies associated with it called CUFED the Fake Outrage, which is a cleverly ambiguous, algorithm-fooling title there, if I do say so myself. CUFED, as a recent popular game, was being discussed and critiqued by games journalists and consumers in articles and videos and Twitter conversations and the likes. Now, what me video did was expose how various anti-feminist, anti-social justice folks only lied about the nature of the discussions and critics of CUFED in order to conjure the specter of an evil, outrage monster that wants to take away their audience new favorite video game. It's a sort of constructed meta-outrage. You know, you act outraged about the air quote, "Joes being outraged," except you also made these Joes up. It's a shameless clickbait pandering tactics, basically. CUFED the Fake Outrage was a landmark video in the history of games journalism and changed the face of YouTube forever. The meta-outrage industry was shamed into silence, collectively promising that in the future they would only respond proportionally to real, substantial news stories about things that actually happened in reality. And having gotten that completely real setup out of the way there, it's time to take a big sip of coffee and do a YouTube search for Doom Eternal. Oh no. What's happened here, then? Stew snowflakes triggered by Doom Eternal. Stew outrage ensures Doom Eternal will be bestseller. Stew's flip over Doom Eternal mocking immigration. Overuse mocking immigration. YouTubers Sargon of Akkad, no bullshit, and the quartering there, all talking about how this Joes are triggered and outraged and so on about Doom Eternal. And those three weren't the only ones who made videos about this topic. There's also Geeks and Gamers Optimus, Dr. Shame Steve Talon, Maltered Bampot Half Harry Timkin, Sound Shared Citizen how Now, all of this was confusing tone, as I sit on the ruling council of Stews. Here online, I'd not heard anything about this Doom Eternal stuff. And I love being offended about things, so honestly, it's kind of annoying that an opportunity to be offended seems to have slipped me by. So then, let's see if we can figure out what happened here and maybe get in on the outrage ourselves. So, Doom Eternal is the upcoming sequel to id Software's 2016 reboot of the Doom franchise, unhelpfully titled Doom, not Doom 4, because fuck sequentially numbered sequels apparently. Doom 2016 was an excellent game and rightfully received critical acclaim. It looked really good, the music was great. The fast-paced combat was consistently fun, whatever. I'm not a games review channel, so I'll just say it was almost always really good. I streamed it recently on me Twitch channel and had a grand old time, except for one part when the game glitched as I was killing an enemy and dropped me out on the map. But otherwise it's a very good. Now, if we want to understand all of this mess, what we don't need to talk about here is the game's narrative. So, spoiler warning. In the future there's some sort of energy crisis on Earth, which is solved by the Union Aerospace Corporation, or UAC, opening up a portal to hell on Mars. They then siphon, quote, hell energy out of hell and process it into usable energy in our dimension. Unsurprisingly, things soon go awry, and a bunch of hell demons invade the UAC's Mars facility. Players play as the Doom Slayer, which is a wonderful name, who's awakened from hibernation on Mars in order to put a stop to the invasion. Which is awakened to play private hibernation under and they then spend the game hopping back and forth between Mars and Hell, accomplishing objectives and trying to sever the link between the worlds. So it's a wonderfully cheesy setup for a game story there. So the question we have to ask here is, who are the antagonists in Doom? Well, it's the demons, right? All the evil hell demons you spend your time fighting against. Well, not really. No. The hell demons are technically evil and bad, but they re-hell demons. What do you expect? You get what you sign up for with hell demons. They represented more as a force of nature than anything else. The actual, quote, bad guys in Doom are the UAC, the mega corporation that actually opened the portal to hell. The leadership of the UAC are presented as driven by profit and greed and personal gain. We have the corrupted head of research, Olivia Pierce, who ends up being the final boss of the game, and the chairman of the UAC, Samuel Hayden, the soulless CO robot. Samuel Hayden. Hayden. Satan. You get it. The UAC are the reason for the conflict in Doom, not the demons. Samuel Hayden is introduced right after you wake up, contacting you via a computer screen to offer to work together to solve this problem in a way that benefits us both. In response to which, your character grabs the computer and just throws it away, which is really funny. And shortly afterwards, the following cutscene happens. I am willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes, but it was worth the risk, I assure you. And that's the one joke in Doom there. It all says something like, this was for the benefit of mankind, and then it pans to a dead guy. It's funny, it's a good joke. So the point is made right at the start of the game there. The corporation is bad. And there's plenty of jokes in the story about the mixing of corporate culture with the demonic invasion. And notable for us here are the various friendly announcement holograms present throughout the game. Through the friend for those in here. And And they say things like, weaponizing demons for a brighter tomorrow. There will be an open forum to resolve any questions or concerns on the initiative to weaponize the demons. Go beyond mere mortal limitations. See Jessica in Human Resources to find out if you qualify. You know, hardy har. They reuse incorporate speak to put a positive spin on the demonic invasion. I apologize here. I'm not making fun of this joke. Everything's just unfunny when you break it down to the fundamentals. I can't really help ruining these jokes here. Anyway, this brings us to the QuakeCon gameplay trailer, the one that is supposedly the source of all this outrage. Now, this trailer also had the friendly corporate announcement holograms. Please remain calm. You may notice a slight change in the environment. A slight change in the environment. But that's not a slight change. That's a really big change. You get it. Now, the lines we are concerned about here are the following. My brothers and sisters, let help to make our friends transition into their new world a comfortable one. Remember, demon can be an offensive term. Refer to them as mortally challenged. And Earth is the melting pot of the universe. So what do we think about these lines? Well, when I watched the trailer, I found them a little eye-rolling, to be honest. But I figured they were just going for the same sort of thing as the previous game. They were thing as the foe for the pre. You know, they re-satirizing corporate culture. And particularly here, they re-satirizing how corporations can co-opt progressive language in an attempt to spin their various evil doings. Well, that was me take on the trailer, anyway. And because it was me opinion, it was the only correct one. And anyone who had a different opinion was wrong, and I was shocked. Shocked to discover anyone could dare to think differently than me, who was right about everything. I kid, of course. I've been on the internet for a while now, so when I watched the trailer, I thought, okay, someone without the full context there, like someone who didn't play or remember the previous game in the series, or just someone who has a different opinion about the game than they could have read those lines not as a satire of corporate co-opting of progressive language, but as a satire of progressive language itself. Horrible Well, I'm narrativizing a bit there. My actual first thought when I watched the trailer was mortally challenged. Wasn't that a Discworld joke? And then I went and checked and I was like, hey, it was. They re-stealing Terry Pratchett's jokes. But for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna streamline my thought process here. So the next thing I thought was, there's two types of reactions here if you re someone who thinks the trailer is mocking progressive language. If you re on the left, you probably thought, oh well, that sucks. You know, the previous game could fairly be read as anti-corporate, anti-capitalist, pro-environmentalism, you know. And it was produced by Bethesda, who also produced the Wolfenstein series, which has Nazis being bad people in the story, who it's okay to fight against. It's weird how that's noteworthy these days. So to see this new Doom trailer pandering to anti-political correctness, folks, must be fairly disappointing. The other type of reaction you could have is if you were an anti-immigrant, anti-political correctness type, you might think, yes, excellent. This game is pandering to me. For example, here are the opening posts of some threads about the trailer from Fortune's far-right politics board. Is there any game more anti-immigrant than New Doom Eternal 2019? Basically, replace all the words demons with immigrants. Hologram is saying, Doom 2018. Doom 2018. Earth is melting pot of the universe. Oof. Paul tier memes in biggest shotter of this decade. Is this real world? I just copied these into the script. I didn't practice reading these out before I started. These are really funny. Doom Eternal is a complete 180 and is very blatantly making fun of the leftist globalist crowd and likening demons to the refugees and immigrants. This game is fucking red-pilled as fuck. And here's an article from Red State.com. Just flip over Doom Eternal as it mocks leftist political correctness on immigration. Politus overs admire And this article manages to mention both Ms-13 and, quote, rape fugees. So there are racist anti-immigrant folks who think the trailer was pandering to them. Now, I think they read wrong. But the fact that they have the space to even think that at all means that it was kind of a bad trailer. You know, I read it one way, but the trailer was just made for 'em. Was it? It was made for a wide audience, some of whom thought the trailer was being racist. And they liked it. Satire requires a clarity of purpose and target, lest it be mistaken for and contribute to that which it intends to criticize. So they say. So let's take a look at some examples of people on Twitter who talked about not liking the trailer. And these come from a post on Funny Junk, titled Mortally Challenged Controversy. One person says, and then they quote 4 likes. Another user says, 1 like. Another user says, so what am I doing here? Why am I reading out these posts? And why am I saying how many likes they got? Well, this page on funnyjunk.com is where all of this came from. There were a dozen tweets on this page, none of which were particularly big. The most retweeted post on here has 7 retweets. And I'd like to point a few more things out. Those 3 tweets that I just read out there all mention that they think the game looks good despite not liking the jokes. You know, I'm super excited by things in the new Doom reveal. The trailer's great. The game still rules. And they weren't the only ones. Doom Eternal looking fucking phenomenal. But I'm not sure how we feel about the lazy jokes about political correctness. And if you noticed here that certain words are highlighted, they rebold because they re-Twitter search terms. Because whoever put this list together had to search to find these tweets. Which you know, is it really a controversy if you have to go looking for it? And most of these people seem pretty excited about the new Doom game. People seem I prefer to They re not on some moral crusade to ban it or anything. They re just questioning some of the jokes in the trailer. This person just quoted one of the jokes and put a roll A's emoji after it. That's it. That's the extent of their outrage. Their one emoji. No retweets. 4 likes. You know, who cares? Well, I'll tell you who cares. Billy D'Ofoni Angry Gamer, net who wrote a post about the Funny Junk article and included some tweets of his own, which are, like the Funny Junk tweets, fairly tame. Like the funny Anyways, I'm hyped about New Doom Eternal still. But it's a muted hype. Because I can't ignore that dog whistly immigration joke in the trailer. Doom Eternal looks good. But I hope they've adjusted the locked-in arena combat stuff. It was too obvious when that was about to happen. The bit with AMCs is great. Some vaguely concerning satire using the language surrounding immigration and minorities for the demins. So we got muted hype, vague concern, kinda wary, seems kinda lame, on-roll A's emoji. You know, where's the outrage here? And this article finishes out by saying the following. One Twitter user pointed out that everyone calling the satirical nature of the holograms commence racist and anti-immigration were just projecting because it meet that Joe see foreigners as destructive violent demons. Plot twist. What if the real racists are the people who aren't racist? Never seen that one before. And that's the angle a lot of these people took too. Except, as we've already seen, plenty of racists and anti-immigration folks responded positively to the trailer, which was to be expected, to be honest. So the people being vaguely concerned about the tweets are justified in being so. They just thinking a couple of moves ahead of old Billy D here. Most of these videos are just reading out this article. And I can prove that fairly easily. Look, here's the first tweet in the article and take it away. Lads, not sure what to think of Doom Eternal having not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. Not sure what to think of Doom Eternal having not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. Not sure what to think of Doom Eternal having not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. Not sure what to do. I'm not sure what to think of Doom Eternal having not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. Not sure what to think of Doom Eternal having not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. Not one but two anti-Stu jokes in it. They've all made the same fucking video. There were more YouTube videos made about these tweets than there were tweets. This outrage isn't real. It was constructed to get clicks using the oldest advertising trick in the book. Do what I say because someone you don't like doesn't want you to do it. The psychology behind this meta-outrage industry is pretty sad, really. The title of one video is showed earlier is kind of insightful here. From Geeks and Gamers. And it's Doom Eternal makes Joes cry and normal people are laughing at them. So it follows that if you laugh at these Joes, you're normal. Click here to be normal. Click here to be part of the in-group, all hating the out-group. It's the 6.5 minutes hate. It's a trick played on people, mostly younger people here, who just aren't developed enough to appreciate enjoying things on their own terms. They can only enjoy something in relation to their peers, i.e., my in-group like it, or more importantly and effectively, my out-group don't like it. And they want to stop me from liking it. And that's how consumerism becomes heroism to these kids. The top comment on Sargon of Akkad's video says, any developer in this day and age willing to stand up against the tyranny of social justice deserves a pre-order for every snowflake tear they cause. Yeah. Well done, guys. You really sticking it to them by falling into an easy marketing trap, aren't you? You could sell these kids sand in the desert if you told them Joes didn't like it. Back to the trailer for a second here. And this is me cynical anti-capitalist side talking, but the people who put the trailers together for these games often aren't the people who designed the game. And maybe they put those jokes in the trailer deliberately to spark this kind of discussion. It's something I'm noticing more of, and it's companies saying, you know, if we sort of ambiguously, but not really, but arguably racist, everyone's gonna argue about whether we were racist or not. And in the process, they'll be talking about our product. And from funny junk to one angry gamer to all these guys to me, and then to you, now, we did talk about it. What a human centipede of content we have here. Is that what happened? Maybe. It worked if so. You know, bravo marketing guys, You made us all talk about Doom. Congratulations, you soulless, manipulative parasites. And I hope that is what happened actually, because there is another alternative here that I don't really want to be the truth, because I was looking forward to this game. But maybe the game is just bad. Maybe it's just rubbish now. Doom 2016 was surprisingly good and surprisingly popular. And it's possible that going forward, the series will chase that popularity and lose what message it had. Look at another Bethesda-produced game that's coming up, Fallout 76. Now, Fallout was a game series initially about the horrors of surviving in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, and now is being marketed as get together with all your pals and nuke the next town to get some loot crates or whatever. So it's possible that this game is just gonna be crap. Maybe they'll forget the messaging of the previous game and put out a story in which the demons are just bad outsiders who need to be killed because they read bad. Maybe they'll forget that Samuel Hayden is supposed to be the bad guy, or they'll have him as the final boss for no other reason than he's a character in the series who could be a final boss instead of it making narrative sense for him to play that role. I don't know. I hope not, but it's all possible. So good job, Doom trailer. You made me wonder about how much worse than its predecessor the next game is going to be. But, you know, the shotgun has a hook on it now, and that looks cool. It's about time for me to wrap up here, folks, but, sympathize with me a little. I usually like to end me video scripts on something weighty, you know. Something with some punch to it. But that's difficult here because nothing happened. You know, lots of people said something happened, but it didn't. And it was relatively trivial to show that it didn't happen too, so I'm a bit deflated, to be honest. I feel like this one's just gonna fizzle out. I don't have anything killer to go out on. I could talk about the hypocrisy of the YouTube outrage industry solely targeting, quote, "sjos," when there are plenty of examples of racists taking the trailer seriously online. You know, you could make a video in the style of one of theirs going through, you could pull thread or whatever and mocking all the people thinking the game is, quote, red-pilled and the likes. They don't do that, though, do they? It's sort of revealing in its absence there. So why do they instead endlessly attack this nebulous idea of sjos? And it's because the narrative they've built needs enemies. And sjos are good and useful enemies. Anyone can be one. There's no criteria for it other than doing something that anti-sjos don't like, such as not being sufficiently excited about a video game trailer. Sjos are crazed, mindless opponents who are numberless, can turn up anywhere, and are always easily defeated, while somehow simultaneously being the puppet masters behind a conspiracy to destroy Western civilization. Sjos hate us for being straight white males, and thus we never have to feel bad about fighting them. They hate us just because. So our hatred of them is justified. It's a narrative of victimization. They want to be under attack, but they don't ever want to actually risk being beaten. So they make up an easy enemy to fight. And then to maintain the illusion, they just have to selectively turn their brains off every now and then and watch a man complain to 700,000 people that a tweet with 2 likes on it is taking something too seriously. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. What do we think? Was that punchy enough of an ending there? I don't know. It all do want it. I went with the Jordan comparison there, but I didn't outright state it. And that way anyone who noticed it would feel clever. It's the best I could do given the circumstances. It's hard to make a video where nothing happens. You know. I wish I could just read out other people's articles I found on the internet. That'd be easy. If I was this Billy D chap over at One Angry Gamer or whatever, I did be furious. I didn't see that in the script either. Of course he did be furious. He's so'n angry gamer. But yeah, all those people just copying his article. It's terrible. If you'd like more videos about nothing, consider supporting me on Patreon. The links below, along with links to me Twitter and Curious Cat accounts if you feel like giving me a follow or sending in a question. Thanks a lot to all me current supporters. As always, I do have videos coming up that are actually about things. Don't worry, folks. Okay, that's it from me today. Bye.